Melanie here from International TEFL Academy in Costa Rica. Thanks for tuning in to our grammar presentations. Those of you that are already teaching English, we hope this is a good opportunity for you to refresh the content that you need to teach so you can be more confident in the classroom. And those of you that are thinking about teaching English abroad, we hope this is the first step in embarking in that journey. Let's get started.
Let's study the present simple. I brush my teeth after breakfast is an example of a sentence in the present simple. This sentence implies that this is an action that happens regularly. It's a part of my routine. If we look at another example, my son takes a shower at night. This is also implying that this is part of our regular habits. Likewise, we go to church on Sundays. This is not saying it happens right now or in this moment or that it happened one time. It is saying that it happens frequently, that it's a part of our schedule. Let's take a look at how to conjugate the positive form of the present simple. We will first look at the verb walk. To conjugate, we will simply change the form for the subject of the sentence. For example, I walk. You walk. He, she, it walks. You'll notice that the third person singular conjugation in the present simple is where it always varies. Okay, so in this case, we need to make sure we add the S. Again, to conjugate for the third person singular, we need to add the S to walks. We walk, you walk, they walk. Let's look at another verb, to watch. Going to be quite similar to walk. I watch, you watch, he, she, or it watches. Again, the third person singular form is slightly different. In this case, because our verb ends in CH, we are going to add ES. Let's continue conjugating the verb. We watch, you watch, and they watch. Other verbs like wash that end in SH, or verbs like do and go are going to be conjugated similarly to watch, where we need to add the third person singular ES. Also, make sure that your students are aware of verbs like study. To conjugate for the third person singular, I'm going to drop my Y and add an I before adding my ES. Let's look at a couple of other verbs conjugated in the present simple. We will start by looking at have. I have. You have. He, she, or it has. So again, we can see that our third person singular conjugation is different. We have, you have, and they have. The verb to be is also irregular. For example, I am. You are. He, she, or it is. We are, you are, and they are. So these are verbs that your students will need to memorize and practice. And how do we make sentences negative in the present simple? Let's take a look. I can take a sentence like I shower at night and make it negative by simply inserting the don't, which is the contraction for do not. So my sentence would read, I don't shower at night. If my subject is third person singular, like he, she, or it, I need to insert doesn't for the contraction of does not. For example, my son doesn't study on Saturdays. So in the negative, if we look at an entire conjugation of the verb walk, we would have I don't walk. You don't walk. He, she, it doesn't walk. We don't walk. You don't walk. And they don't walk.
Go back. So it says he doesn't eat pizza.
to eat. So chill.
I don't take a shower today.
And that's for real.
Oh my god. Okay. Two, right? 1, 2, jump 2 heads. Okay.
2 heads.
2 ahead. Teach. I guess, right? So, I teach every day.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
2. They don't watch TV every day.
All right, let's take a look at asking questions in the present simple. For example, do you take a shower in the morning? We are going to start these questions with the auxiliary do or does. Follow it by the subject, and finally the infinitive, in this case, take. To look at an example of the third person singular, does he practice sports? I start my question with the auxiliary does, my subject he, and then the verb practice. So if we look at the conjugations of do, we have do I, do you, does he, she, or it. Like normal, our third person singular is a little bit different. Do we, do you, and do they. We can also use the present simple to refer to the future if it is in reference to an event on a calendar. For example, my class starts at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. is in the future. However, I can use the present simple because it is in reference to a specific time or an event on a calendar. Also, the party is on Friday. Friday is in the future, but I'm using a present simple verb because it is referring to something in a schedule. Likewise, my flight leaves at 7 a.m. That is also something happening in the future, but because it's an event on a calendar or a schedule, I can use the present simple to refer to the future. Alright, time to review the present simple. Remember, we're going to use conjugations in the present simple to refer to actions that happen regularly, things that are a part of your schedule or your routine. For example, my students study on Mondays. This is something that happens regularly, so I can use the present simple. They don't have class on Saturdays. To make a sentence negative in the present simple, I will use the auxiliary don't or doesn't. I will also use conjugations of do as the auxiliary in my questions in the present simple. For example, do you understand?